Hi, I'm Nick, and welcome to the Painter's Mess. So, I wanted to put a quick video out about the Nova Open Warhammer releases that came out last night. And being that I've been working on my Death Guard Horse Heresy army, this is probably the best time to talk about it because it is a new Mark III set. So, I'm going to put the image on screen of the new Mark III and then the box set that's coming out with it. And I just kind of wanted to make a couple points about the whole thing and how I feel about it and kind of what to expect as a Death Guard or Legion player that uses Mark III armor from this point on. So to start with, I want to talk about the armor set and the infantry models that are coming out. I think that the Mark III armor looks fantastic. Compared to the old ones, I don't quite care to mix and match them. I do like the old Marines and I do like the customization that comes with the old Marines. And it's kind of a shame that the Mark III Tactical Squad is no longer available on GW's website. So with that, that's one of the biggest cons of the whole thing for anybody that already has started a Legion that uses Mark III armor is that you no longer have access to the Mark III legs or the whole body set. So it really does hinder the community kit bashing and just like army building aspect of Horse Heresy. To continue on with that, because you no longer have access to the legs, you can also no longer use the torsos that come with that were specialized for the units or the legions. So for Death Guard, we had very specific like torsos that are available and they fit right on top of the legs. So really all you had to do was buy the box for the legs. And you would have these Death Guard looking legionaries that you could either use as like your sergeants, or you could use as just like a veteran squad, or you could just make your whole army that way. And now we no longer have access to that. One, because the box is gone, and two, because of these new Marines. The assumption is that the torsos are probably not going to be separate. They're going to be kind of like a Primaris Marine for 40k, where it's kind of all one piece and you kind of just put them together. Or certain things are going to be like that. And the scale creep is probably the biggest culprit of this issue. Is when you put your old torsos onto the legs, it might not look right. And because of the scale creep, we might be kind of out of luck in that regard. Now, I don't actually know that for a fact. That is just an assumption looking at the models and kind of having an idea of what size they're going to be. And because of the scale creep is moving into the new Mark VI size from the Horse Heresy release, we kind of have that same problem of your torsos are going to be slightly smaller than the legs will be, even if they are separate pieces. Now, I have some experience with what the size is of these Marines because there is a 3D sculptor out there, and I'm not sure if I'm supposed to name him or not, but I'll leave that for you guys to decide. If you want to know, just message me and I'll put it either in the comments or I'll send it to you separately. But he projected what the new Marines were going to look like, the new Mark III Marines were going to look like, and 3D sculpted them. So you can actually go out and 3D print them as of right now and as of probably 3 to 4 months ago. So I have 3D printed them. I've used them for a destroyer squad that I made, and those are the only ones that I've used in my current army, and everything else is the standard Mark III, the original Mark III tactical squad, at least the legs, with torsos and stuff like that, specifically like Death Guard, the plackets, the big belly boys. But the scale is slightly larger, and when I put them next to each other, they have a very distinct difference. And because I'm using them for destroyers, Mortalis destroyers, and I'm using them mostly in Zone Mortalis, I don't really use them much on open board tables. So having them slightly different for a very specific reason is really nice. But other than that, if I wanted to mix and match them into my army, they kind of stand out. They're also painted black, so they're not quite the Death Guard colors, but that's again part of my Mortalis squad. The other thing that a lot of people in the community have noticed is that the heads are all the same, and they all have that weird pointy top with like the awkward Mark III head. It's like a mixture of like the Death Guard skull head, or the Death Guard heads that you can get, as well as the old Mark III armor head, and it kind of doesn't look right. Now, that's not a huge problem if you already have Mark III Marines. You can just use those heads, especially if you've replaced the Legion specific heads with the original heads, because I have a bunch of heads that I'm never going to use because I put Legion specific heads on all of my Marines, or most of them at least. So if I bought the box, I would have the original Mark III heads, and they would look pretty good. But you can always replace them with like the Legion specific ones, and they would look just fine. The heads that come in the box are kind of weird and kind of ugly in my opinion. But again, some people might like them, some people might not. And that's pretty much most of the cons of the Marines. Some of the pros are, I think they do really look cool. I'm not going to add them to my army, unfortunately, because they just aren't going to match the aesthetic that I already have. The other super pro thing about these new Marines, and specifically the box, is if you are looking to get into Horus Heresy and looking to start a Legion that uses Mark III Marines, you have the big capability of buying 2 of these boxes and getting 60 Marines, 2 Deredeo Dreadnoughts, and 2 Proteus Land Raiders. So 60 Marines is a lot of Marines. You could set up 3 standard tactical squads and you have all of your troops. And that gives you 30 Marines out of that. And then the next 30 can be all for heavy support troops. You can make a veteran squad. You can do tactical support troops. You can make all of these small grouped or large grouped Marines that have, heavy weapons, power weapons, support weapons, and all those other things. And you have a solid base of a Legion to start with. I think this is especially true with Death Guard if you are starting a Death Guard army, because you have the ability to have 2 Deredeo Dreadnoughts, which are going to be your heavy support sitting in the back, raining down fire on your enemies. 2 Proteus Land Raiders that are going to help you get onto objectives quickly. And then all of the troops that you're either going to put in your Land Raiders, or you're going to, put on like your deployment objectives or something like that, close objectives for you to move up to. And you have all of these abilities or capabilities to make these Marines, as well as, you have your Vaxilla, your Nuncio Vox, your Augury scanners as well in that box. And it comes with some tactical support weapons, which means you can make those support squads relatively quickly. So the biggest pro of the whole box set is buy 2 and make a solid army utilizing Mark III Marines. The next thing that I really want to talk about is Fulgrim. I'm going to put it on the screen right now. It is beautiful. It is such a beautiful model. And I've seen some 3D renders of, I can't remember who made it, but somebody made a Fulgrim, and it looks very close, very, very detailed, very accurate comparatively. And the kit bashes that I've seen that use Marathi, I think that's her name, from Age of Sigmar into Fulgrim are also fantastic. But this model is beautiful and I really love it. I am not an Emperor's Children fan. I don't really care for, 1, their aesthetic, and 2, their arrogance and pride of being the best fighters, lore wise, but I do really like them. At least I like this particular model, this Demon Prince or Demon Primarch. And as a collector of demons, because I love the Demon Princes, I love all of the Primarchs and the Traitor Primarchs and their demonic ascendants. I do plan on getting this model just so I can have it and paint it and put it on the shelf, because I have Mortarion, Demon Prince Mortarion, Angron. I don't have the Keeper of Secrets or the Slanesh demons yet, but I will start I will start collecting them soon, probably when I get back from deployment, just to add to my demon, collection. And this model is beautiful, and I'm so excited to add it to a collection. I have no intention of ever using it in any other aspect other than putting it in a case with all my other demons, because I love demons. They're fucking awesome, and this model is beautiful. I'm really curious on your guys' thoughts of the releases, at least in regards to Horus Heresy. Obviously 40k, Warhammer Underworlds, Old World, and all those other things are really cool. Specifically the one woman on the unicorn. That's probably one of the most beautiful models that I've ever seen from Games Workshop. And there's some other good releases that are coming out. I don't really play Age of Sigmar that much. Actually, I don't think I've ever played this new edition. I don't play any of the other games, but I'm really excited for all of the models because they just look really cool. Maybe one day I'll pick some of them up. But at least for now, because I'm really stuck into Horus Heresy and Kill Team, which they didn't release any Kill Team, but at least for the Horus Heresy stuff, I'm really curious on your thoughts. I don't really plan on picking up the box, or if I do, I will probably either utilize all those Marines and make a Zone Mortalis specific set of Marines with those models, and then using the regular Death Guard stuff as my open board, which actually, now that I say that out loud, sounds like a cool idea. Having the Deredeo Dreadnoughts is definitely going to be helpful, and then having Land Raiders, which I don't have. I have the 40k versions, but I don't have any 30k Land Raiders, so having 2 Land Raiders would be fantastic. I might pick up 2 of those boxes depending on how much they cost, and I'll probably have to ship them out to myself in where I'm going. So I'm really curious on your guys' thoughts. How do you feel about the releases? How do you feel about the Marines, and kind of what your thoughts are? Do you think that I'm kind of in line with my synopsis of what the new Marines means, and how it's going to affect army building from here on out? Let me know in the comments below, because I would love to have that discussion. The last thing I want to say is thank you so much for making it this far in the video. If you've been watching any of the content, I greatly appreciate it. For all of the subscribers that I have, thank you so much. If you like this kind of content and want to see more, or maybe are excited to see what else that I come out with, please like this video, share it with your friends, and if I've earned it, please subscribe to this channel. I really do want to make more content, and I'm kind of learning the basics of doing that. So any feedback, any interaction really helps. I really appreciate it. So my name's Nick. This is The Painter's Mess. Go paint one mini at a time, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.